Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So this is day 2 of 30 Purple Inks, 30 days for September of 2020. And I mentioned in the comments of yesterday's video, though actually in the video itself I think, that I forgot to do my comparison swatches, which is my favorite part of doing these inks. So I wanted to start off with that today. So this was my swatch card from yesterday, the TWSBI Purple, which again is looking dark on the camera, darker than it is in person. In person it's a very light, bright purple. So I have my purple swatch cards. So I'm looking through my swatch cards to find some that might be comparable. So that one is, that's a Monteverde Amethyst. And that's a bit lighter, a bit less saturated, a bit duller, I might say. The TWSBI Royal Purple is really pretty. It's a really pretty purple. And it does have that little hint of sheen around the darker area there. It's so pretty. Now this is one of my favorite inks. I mean, this is right up there with Horizon Blue, which is, oh, I love Horizon Blue. But this is Colorverse Hayabusa, and that is just a gorgeous purple ink. Again, the camera's not showing it very well. It's looking really blue on the camera, but in person it's a very vibrant purple. A bit darker than the TWSBI ink, but it does have some beautiful green sheen. And definitely one of my favorites. But that TWSBI is really nice too. And I also have the Hayabusa with the shimmer. I'm just not a big fan of the shimmer. The shimmer just makes me a little nervous, you know? So anyway, that is about the same. Now here we have Nemesis Halley's Comet. Now that is pretty pale, paler than the amethyst, I would say. But not a bad color. Just lighter than the other ones. And here is Diamine Imperial Purple. And that is closer in tone, I would say, to the TWSBI ink. The TWSBI is kind of on the redder end of purple, and the Hayabusa is kind of more towards the blue end of purple. So this is more in that red range. But again, I would say a bit lighter and a bit less saturated, but it does have some nice sheen. Can you see that? That is very pretty. And I'm trying to remember, I think this Diamine Imperial Purple, I think I got it from Birmingham, and it was they had some Diamine inks for sale that they had purchased and repackaged. So I have, I think I've got Imperial Purple, Imperial Blue, and Blue Black that are actually Diamine inks. But again, I'm wondering if my repackaged bottles are the same as bottles that are bottled by Diamine. It would be interesting to compare those at some point, but I'm thinking that this one is a bit closer to the TWSBI. The amethyst is a bit bluer, a bit closer to the Hayabusa. So let's see what else we have here. I have some really dark purples, but those, of course, are not good matches. And I was kind of hesitating yesterday when I was making this video because I have actually swatched the TWSBI Royal Purple before. I did this marathon swatching of all of my ink bottles, last year sometime. And that was before I started doing my drips. I love my drips on the cards. But this one you can see I just swatched down the card and then I did a second pass. But I really think the drip gives you a sense of the depth of the color. It highlights a lot of the sheen or shimmer in the inks. So I really like doing that extra little bit with the cards. So even though I knew I had a swatch card for the TWSBI Royal Purple, I went ahead and redid it yesterday on camera. First of all, because I wanted to do a swatch card on camera, but also second of all, because I wanted to do it the way I've been doing my cards recently. So you could see that the colors do look pretty different. I mean, the color down here is kind of like the color up here, which is that second pass. And down here, it's a bit lighter, a bit less saturated. So it's always interesting to see the variation in the inks. But if you can see on this writing on the card, there is some really beautiful shading in the ink when you write with it. So I just wanted to mention that. So even when you make swatch cards, there can be some variation from card to card. So, you know, if you have some swatch cards that you made years ago, you might want to bring them out and see what they look like. And have they faded over time? Or are you doing your process in a different way now? Okay, this is Monteverde Purple Rain. And this is a very light and bright purple ink. Much more vibrant than the Royal Purple. So I would say that he is not a good match at all. And I have this Noodler's Purple Heart. And I just noticed I spelled Noodler's wrong. But that's okay. Pardon me, I got lost in thought. I was trying to think about where I had seen this ink. Oh, I think I was watching somebody's chromatography video. And they were doing chromatography of Purple Heart. And I got this ink from Goulet. I'm pretty sure it's a Goulet exclusive, and oh my goodness, an exclusive ink, I had to get it. So I purchased it before I had really thought about it, and I have to say that I do not find this color attractive. If you like this ink, I apologize, I don't mean to offend anyone, we all have different tastes, but this ink just does not do anything for me. But when I was watching the video of the chromatography, it was showing how much red there was in the ink and how little blue there was. And that got me to thinking, you know, I'm very interested in the ink mixing. So I wonder if I took another Noodler's blue ink, like maybe the Noodler's Midnight Blue, which I really enjoy, and mixed some of that with this Purple Heart, if I might not come out with a purple that I would enjoy more. So that is an experiment for another day. But of course, with our TWSBI Royal Purple right now, he is not close at all. So let me see, here is Lamy Azurite, and that is very close to Hayabusa. I like both of those inks very much, but again, not too close to our ink of the day. And I think I'm taking much too long with this. This was just supposed to be a really quick intro to the video, but man, I could just do these ink comparisons all day. So here is Murasaki Shikibu, and I think I'm going to end it there. That's kind of a lighter version of the Royal Purple than the Imperial Purple. So I could keep going, but the ink of the day is calling us. We haven't even discovered what it is yet. So let me get out my little bag of my little container of mystery and see what our ink of the day is going to be. So I'm going to shuffle them around a little bit. And let's see who we have. All right. So we have Colorverse Delicious Sleep, and this has a B on it, a B for bottle. So this is one of my more recent purchases. I believe I got this from Goulet, and this is part of that new Colorverse, the Colorverse series. So let me go grab that bottle, and I will be right back. All right, so here we are with Colorverse Delicious Sleep, and the lovely sleepy kitty on the front of the box. And my sleepy puppy is right here next to me. Oh, oops. The innards of the bottle are falling out. Okay. So here is our bottle. Delicious Sleep. And I am going to ink up my pen. And this, of course, is my Lamy Dark Lilac. And I'm starting off with the fine nib. So let's see what we got here. Ooh. Looks like my camera is struggling to focus. Come on there, camera. There we go. All right. Well, that one seems to have filled much easier than it did yesterday. I don't know, everything just seemed ornery yesterday. Beginning of the month. Everybody's cranky at the beginning of the month. I don't know. I'm sure that's not true. But yesterday was a crazy day. Okay. So we are going to start with our swatch card. And I think I might have swatched this already before. I can't remember. Sometimes I do swatches in my in my notebook, and sometimes I do swatches on cards. But I am going to go ahead and do a swatch card because I want to. So this is Colorverse Delicious Sleep. Ooh, my handwriting's not looking too good today, but that's all right. And do our little swatch here. Ooh. That is, gosh, it seems really dry. It's like it doesn't want to come off the Q-tip. That's pretty weird. Yep, not getting a drip. All right. There we go. Got a little bit of a drip. All right, so we are going to set him aside to dry. And I've been working on the chromatography strips. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I don't think this is ready for the camera. But I've got all these little bits of paper everywhere, and they're just floating around. So I don't know. Isn't that pretty? All these different little pieces of paper. But we can talk about that later. Right now we got to do some writing. So let me see. Where were we? Alright, so this is my Exceed notebook that I got from Walmart. Okay, so now it is time to switch our nibs. I'm switching from the fine nib to the broad nib with my trusty little piece of tape. And by the time I get to the end of this month, I am going to be an expert nib swapper. But I need to practice because I am not very good at it at all. I think it's not so much that I'm bad at it, I'm just nervous. And anytime you do something without confidence, it tends not to go like you thought it would. Okay. So I think that's on there. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I do have to give these Lamy pens credit. I've been swapping these nibs out and they just write right away. And I do have to mention, somebody asked me yesterday, my practice sentence for the broad nib is my hovercraft is full of eels. Now, isn't that a strange sentence? Why, yes, it is. That is a phrase from Monty Python, and there is a gentleman on Instagram named Peter who does fountain pen posts, and he has used that as his sample sentence on some of his pens, and I just thought it was hilarious. So I am using that for mine as well. So, and I'll link Peter's account if you want to check him out, but I just thought it was something fun and different and lighthearted. Okay. So, switching over to my Clairfontaine notebook, and little bits of paper are just floating everywhere. Oops, I guess I should have written both of these with the fine nib, but that's okay. Variety is the spice of life. I'll just skip down. So here is our broad nib. And I usually do a little musical interlude while I'm writing. So let me know if you enjoy the musical interlude, or if you would rather we just have silence. I'm good either way, but I guess I'm just a little self-conscious of, you know, writing silently in front of the camera. I feel like I need to have something else going on. All right, so back to the fine nib so we can finish our sample here. So yeah, I just swapped this nib out and it's ready to write right away. So I think it's good engineering on the part of Lamy, but also good flow on the part of the ink. Even though it seemed like on the swatch card that it was not flowing smoothly off of the Q-tip, it seems to be flowing smoothly from the pen, which of course is the most important part. We don't write with the Q-tip, we write with a pen. Alrighty. So, let me see. I need to do my swatch for day 2. And, Chris Signs left a comment on yesterday's video that a fine tip, felt tip pen might be better for writing in that tiny little space, and she's absolutely right. I thought about getting out my Sharpie pen to do that yesterday, but the fountain pen was just right there, so I went ahead and used it. And somebody also mentioned that I might get some cross-contamination from the washi tape if I try to reuse it, but goodness knows I have enough washi tape, so we will just use some fresh washi tape every day. And hey, you'll get to see a little bit of my washi tape collection, which is always fun. So this is actually the same washi tape that I used yesterday, but I'll have to grab some different rolls so we're not having to look at the same washi tape every day. And I don't think this will pick up yesterday's ink if I lay the washi tape over it. The ink is completely dry, and the washi tape is not terribly sticky, so it should be okay. It shouldn't pick up the ink. Alright, so I'm going to use my little Q-tip, and I'm going to get, oops, a little bit more ink on it. Whew, the cat is trying to escape. I just feel a catastrophe coming. I feel a great ink accident happening this month. So we'll see. I will try to keep control of my nibs and my bottles and my pens, but we'll see how things go. Okay. Well, I was thinking, just looking at the writing comparisons, that these inks looked really similar, but now looking at them side by side on this calendar, the Colorverse ink looks a bit redder. Let's see. I feel like Bob Ross pulling off the contact paper at the end of the show to reveal the painting. So exciting. All right, oh, somebody's leaving me a message. Okay, well, there wasn't anybody there, so that tells me it was probably a telemarketer. Okay, so I'm going to try to write with my Sharpie pen today, so I can squeeze it into that little bitty space. So this is Colorverse, and this is Delicious. Ooh, really small space. Sleep. I'm going to squeeze it in. Okay. All right. Well, I think that is it for today. Oh, did we want to take a look back at our writing? So there's our 2 squares so far. So yeah, the TWSBI. Again, it's really hard to tell on the camera, and I'm so sorry about that. But the TWSBI is much brighter, and the Delicious Sleep is a much darker purple. I'm actually surprised. I didn't realize it was so much darker. And then here is our writing on the Exceed notebook. And it's a darker, I would say less saturated ink than the TWSBI was yesterday. But I'm still seeing some nice shading on it, especially in the broad nib. And I just have not used broad nibs very much to know what to expect from them, but I've been adding broad nibs to my collection, so hopefully I will have the opportunity to get some experience with them. Okay, so this is on the Clairfontaine paper. Oh, I seem to have a bit of a shadow. Let's see. Okay, so again, a little bit darker, but still some nice shading. Hopefully you can see that. All right, and let's see what our swatch card is looking like. Oh dear, where's the swatch card? Oh, whew. Okay, there is our swatch card. And let's do a little comparison here. Let's see. Well, here is yesterday's ink. So we've already decided that the TWSBI is a brighter purple than the Delicious Sleep. Here is Murasaki Shikibu. Again, lighter, but more along the lines of the less saturated, I would say. And there is Monteverde Amethyst. Again, the less saturated color. And here is some Imperial Purple. I'm just not seeing anything that looks like it so far. That's Halley's Comet. Let's see, here's Tasha Murasaki. That's looking redder. And who do we have here? There's Alexander Hamilton. That's definitely not a match. That's much redder looking. And how about this one? Diamine Monbado's Hat. I think he might be a bit redder and a bit more saturated. Goodness. I don't know if I have one that would match. And of course, there's our friend Purple Heart, which is very red looking, so definitely not a match there. And there is Purple Rain, which is a much, much brighter purple, so that's definitely not a match. Oh, let's see. There is Krishna Silent Night Sky. And that's a less saturated ink, but much bluer looking than Delicious Sleep. So I have some inks that are darker, like the Azurite that I showed before. That's a much darker ink. So I really don't think I have anything that matches it. So that's very interesting to note. Alrighty, so I will wrap this up for today with our Lamy Dark Lilac pen and our Colorverse Delicious Sleep. And I hope you are enjoying your pens and inks today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.